Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. 41.6 million XRP. Japanese crypto issuers in a corporate tax rate. Ooh. Silvergate Bank class action. We're going to get into it. Microsoft is prohibiting crypto mining. We'll tell you what's going on there. We got more James Murphy, securities lawyer, litigator, telling us about the FTX collapse and what was the plan all along. Oh my goodness, you need every bit of that. Kevin O'Leary gets pushed back from CNBC. You're going to want to see it. They're watching us, ladies and gentlemen. Cynthia Lumis, senator, has got some remarks we need to have. She sets the record straight. Patrick McHenry reveals to us who's really running the show up there on the hill. And guess what else? Jim Cramer, by all accounts, may have just crowned XRP victorious. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $852 billion market cap for crypto. We're off by 3.8% as we head into the weekend. Good afternoon, everybody. Bitcoin, 16,800 plus. Ethereum, $1,195.32 right now. Tether market cap, 66 billion, almost flat. XRP is 35 cents. We're now off by 8.9% on the 7-day. If you haven't taken a look at it, take a look at the sponsor Ledger right here. The new Ledger Stacks. This thing looks like an iPod, the ease of use. I cannot wait. I've pre-ordered mine. Why haven't you pre-ordered yours? This is remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about this. I cannot wait to get this and hook it up and try it out because I love that I can put stuff on cold storage, but Ledger is very tough for me to use. I've been very open about that, even though I love having it and I go through that hurdle of using it. But you know what? This looks like it got just a bunch user-friendly without sacrificing the security. Click the link underneath the video. Over the past 24 hours, 41.6 million XRP were shoveled. 35 million and 35 million XRP were shoveled. The amount, 41.6 million, was shoveled by the Bitso crypto trading platform. I say this all the time. I just want to say it. There's new people coming in the channel all the time. When I see this amount of XRP moving around, what I see is really the on-demand liquidity, the actual use case of the asset XRP happening. I do believe that the price, if retail trading went away on XRP, it would not go to zero because there is a market of real use case and it doesn't mean speculation. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have speculation. I'm just saying if retail speculation went away on XRP, it would still have a price and it wouldn't be zero because we do have people and banks using it around the world, remittance companies. As it stands, Japanese crypto issuers are required to pay a set 30% corporate tax rate on their holdings, even if they haven't realized a profit through a sale. Holy moly. It's not like we got any clarity here, at least, right? I mean, so Silvergate faces class action lawsuit over the FTX Alameda dealings. The suit is looking to hold Silvergate accountable for its alleged roles in transferring FTX user deposits to the Alameda bank accounts. This thing gets bigger, but it doesn't get any better. That's the way my father-in-law says it. Microsoft prohibits crypto mining on online services without permission. XRP Crypto Wolf reminds us here, shout out to him. It's a good thing XRP doesn't need mining, isn't it? Just saying. This right here is a part of an incredible conversation. I released the full interview if you have not seen it. First of all, shout out to Meta Lawman. Give him a follow. It's James Murphy, former securities lawyer litigator. And my, oh my, what a conversation we had. But listen to this very quickly when he talks about FTX bankruptcy and the indictment under seal. And it all started at the beginning. Listen.
Absolutely fascinating, and the revelations about what was going on there are coming so fast. I mean, before the indictment was unsealed a couple of days ago and the SEC complaint and the CFTC complaint came out, we were under the impression that the transfer of FTX customer funds to Alameda was a fairly recent activity, criminal activity. But according to those, those complaints and the indictment, this started at the very beginning when FTX.com, the international exchange, was started in 2019. It was part of the business plan to use customer assets to help fund trading at scale in Alameda, because they absolutely.
It's just horrible what went on there. And listen to this clip he talked about as well. And I responded in here when he, basically asked the question, why did they grab SBF right before the hearing? And of course, James was very polite and stays above it. And he does admit, however, they had him dead to rights. But I say, if SBF showed up, or if I was SBF, I bet you he would have, and I know I would have. Of course, I wouldn't be him because I'm not interested in being that guy. But the reality is, I bet he would have talked about the political donations and those SEC CFTC meetings for his entire testimony had he showed up to that hearing. And it's funny how him being arrested happened so timely. Take a listen. Well,
an indictment in order to make this request to the Bahamian authorities to grab him. So a lot of people are speculating why. Why did they do that right before the hearing? I don't have, the answer for that. There's a lot of speculation about that, but they had to come up with an indictment to show the Bahamas that they were serious and wanted to arrest him. So I think there's going to be many, many, many more counts added. And I believe Sam is not going to get away with his defense of, hey, I didn't know anything. Yeah, maybe I was negligent. I'm really sorry. I should have paid closer attention. I don't believe any of that's going to work. I think they've got him dead to rights on intent to defraud people. The guy who's in charge of FTX right now, he testified under oath in front of Congress and said it is flat out embezzlement. That's a crime. And so he would not say that unless he'd seen the evidence there and talk to the people. And I think they've got him dead to rights. And I think he's going to spend a very, very long time in jail.
As he should. No doubt about it. And this very quickly here is Kevin O'Leary catching huge pushback from CNBC. And when I said in the teaser when we opened up here, they're watching us. There's been a handful of us calling out CNBC for, anointing SBF and saying he was the next JP Morgan or Andrew Carnegie and so on and so on. The Vanderbilts, the Rockefeller, all of it. We've listened to it. It's nauseating. We've called them out for trying to spin the narrative of this bankruptcy from anything other than a criminal operation. They've tried to, we don't have the facts when we actually had the facts. As James Murphy said, the current CEO of FTX came out in a congressional hearing and said it is absolutely 100% embezzlement going on. That's criminal activity, people. That's what we're talking about. And yet this cat tries to remain confused. And listen to this nonsense he's got himself backed into here.
Time goes so quick. It seems like only yesterday, I was totally arguing with you on Squawk Box. You went from Charlie Munger's view on Bitcoin to Michael Saylor's view on Bitcoin. And I actually kidded you about it. I said, who are you? You may know nothing, but you're never in doubt. You're so strident when you said it was just worthless and rat poison, and then 6 months later you're like this Bitcoin bull, so I didn't understand that conversion. Did that conversion coincide with the 15 million that you got from FTX?
No, I was investing 3.5 years earlier than that. I changed my mind back in early 2018 when I saw the regulators in jurisdictions like Canada, Switzerland, and Abu Dhabi start to change their minds. But I'll tell you what really got me investing, Joe. You know, I mentioned these guest lecturing things I do. They're usually to graduating cohorts of engineers. And so these are classes at 6 to 9 at night. And these are the best and brightest at MIT or in business school at Harvard. I started to notice back in 2018, I'd say, okay, wait, where are you guys going? Where are you going? Because about a third of the class will create entrepreneurial efforts and they'll start businesses. They're all going to the blockchain. You can't spend that much intellectual.
I believed it back then. I'm just trying to figure why.
I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. You just said you made this conversion in what year?
I think it was 2018 I started investing, yeah.
Okay, well, I just for, as a point of fact, for what it's worth, May 14th, 2019, you came on television and called Bitcoin garbage. Just
then I'm wrong. It's the year later.
And keeps it in
I'm
terms
sorry,
of
guys.
keeping the time. But also, Kevin, so prior to that, you hadn't looked at it at all. I wonder about Munger. I wonder about a lot of it. Most of the people that call them Beanie Babies have never looked into actually how it works. Had you not looked into it, and yet you had those very strong opinions about it?
I remember, I think it was 2017, coming on Squawk Box talking about the tokenization of a hotel in New York. And the regulator let me know right after that they were not okay with that. And that was the beginning of realizing, wow, things are tough out here with this crypto stuff. Right. But maybe you're right, Andrew. Maybe I started 2019. But the point is, it was long before I became a paid spokesperson, years before. So it didn't change my mind to be paid or, go through that whole process. I'm an advocate of this because I think the productivity available in crypto and particularly payment systems looks extraordinary. And I understand the incumbents and the banking system is really trying to shut this down. But the fact is, it's a threatening technology, and disruption's always abhorred by the existing incumbents.
Oh, listen, what a mess Kevin has made for himself. He has lost so much credibility since this whole thing has happened. And it's not that he was a spokesman for me, if I could be clear about that. Because you can't know really if a company's doing right or wrong. The problem for me is when he doubled down after we all started to find out and then continued to say that he would endorse or work with him again and that kind of a thing, referencing SBF. That's when it got a little crazy for me. But here's Cynthia Lumis, who, by the way, as a side note, should not be owning Bitcoin, then writing legislation that really gives Bitcoin a pass in the commodity world. But who am I? I'm just an observer, right? But let's hear her with a moment of levity.
Organizations. We're conflating topics today. Digital assets are not on trial. Fraud and organizations are on trial. So
that's exactly right. And she continues to go on and then repeat it. But that's absolutely right. And I actually said this in my conversation with James Murphy. It's like, hey, we have laws for fraud, right? We have laws for that. It's like, this isn't the technology's fault that this happened. This was greedy people doing criminal activity, just like you could find in any industry or any business, right? That's the problem here. But what we really find out in all of this, while we have zero clarity going forward at the moment, Representative Patrick McHenry tells us all what the truth is. Now, the way I learned it in social studies as a kid, studying, government, right? Just basic education. I'm no genius, right? But the House of Representatives is supposed to put together bills, propose them to the Senate, and the Senate decides whether to pass it and make it legislation, and then it goes to the president's desk to be signed into law. I mean, that's pretty much the 1, 2, 3. There you go. A, B, C. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? That's how that goes. However, apparently there's an extra step in here that we didn't learn as a kid, and it's taking direction from the Treasury before you decide to put together a bill. It never came up on the test, not even in multiple choice. But it says right here, we urge the Treasury to immediately publish the rules directed under Section 80603 and delay the effective date of Section 80603 to allow market participants to conform to any new requirements. McHenry, in the incoming chair of the House Financial Services Committee, wrote in a letter addressed to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, the new law also directs the Treasury Department to incorporate digital assets into the definition of tax collection and reporting purposes, which McHenry says is the privacy concern. The Treasury Department did not immediately respond to the request for comment, as you can imagine, and that's where we are on this day. So, with that being said, that's where we are here on this Friday. Look, it's head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the shots that we're seeing taken here at XRP as we move into the weekend. And if this is any sign, I want you to see this first because XRP absolutely gets dumped on by Jim Cramer. Look at this right here.
Like it is. So you're putting up cryptos. I'm negative on the XRP and the Litecoin and the Dogecoin, because I've yet to find anybody who really takes them. There are probably some paid spokespeople who I like right now.
You know, just totally dogging on XRP. But you know what? As it turns out, if this ends up being the way he pushed Bear Stearns and so many other things on his Mad Money show, this is about to be real good for all of us.
Hey, great job. All right, anyway. Okay, Peter writes, should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no.
That was 8 days before Bear Stearns went belly up on everybody's money. All I can say is, I'm not saying that in 8 days something miraculous is going to happen for XRP. What I'm saying is I see that in my seat where I sit, it appears clear to me that Jim Cramer has a job where he leads the lambs to slaughter to Wall Street and the institutions to look at us like worthless cattle. And I don't know how the guy can sleep at night. He doesn't know one thing about XRP and its actual real use case. It's an embarrassment to hear him speak most days. And John Deaton says here, if Jimmy Chill was interested in the truth, he would have someone on his show to explain it to him. He doesn't know anyone who accepts it. Jim, Time Magazine does, by the way. 2 companies filed amicus brief in Ripple case, iRemit and TapJets. Jim, be fair and have someone on to discuss. It really is the truth. It's so one-sided, and it feels very deliberate to me and awful timely as we narrow down to the end of this case. That's going to do it for me, not financial advice for me or anyone else. It is just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.